right, greetings. Thanks for joining us. Okay, somebody's waking up a little bit, sort of. Yeah, Fritzy's knocked out somewhere. They're both kind of in slumber mode. So Operation Highjump, that has to do with, I think, Antarctica, the North Pole, things like that. I just tap into it the best I can. It's been kind of a long day, so just do whatever you can bring in. And if Philadelphia experiment has to do with time travel. So you can say some of this is an update. You can say Operation Highjump is basically extraterrestrial energies. I think Admiral Byrd was involved with that. He found Agartha, things like that. At least that's what all I picked up on. Basically all the. So yeah, we're going through. I think I mentioned this already, but I'll mention it again if I haven't already. Yeah, there's many layers of keeping us. There's no Roswell really. There's sightings here and there, but it's not really anything. At least extraterrestrial going on. It's all hidden. And there's many layers to keep it that way. You can say the secret space program is involved with that to a certain level. There's just all these different layers to keep things shut down. We're not really seeing any alien disclosure really. We're just going by the old stuff really, or anything that people are downloading to the astral. So. And the Brazil secret space energies there. I feel like there's a lot hidden there. Like Brazil isn't what Brazil looks like. Of course, not many people. Brazil isn't exactly the safest place to go to. It's Brazil in South America. So it's just a lot of. I would say there's a lot of happening underground, majorly happening underground. A lot of reptilians live there, especially in the caves. Just a lot there that's just not a normal world at all. It's like you're definitely in a new territory. Of course, a lot of black ops energies there. A lot of kidnappings happen there. It's kept as a third world country for a reason. Money laundering, whatever it might be. Of course, there's connections to the Queen and the corruption there. Now, the Queen, it's not clear about. I would say the Queen is going to cross over this year, but I could be wrong. Nobody can really tell on that. But it feels like because her husband isn't there, I mentioned this yesterday, that she's just pulling back big time. Yeah, they can't keep you alive forever, at least the system. Of course, she's hanging in there for quite some time. Of course, a lot of people are holding on to her energy. But there's only so long they can hold on. I mean, it feels like the Queen has already let go a long time ago. Whatever version of the Queen there is there, version 1 million. But either way, it feels like she's slowly pulling away, but not fully made a decision just yet. Obviously, yeah, she might hang in there for a couple of years. That's really not clear at this point. Yeah, death is never clear. It's just the way it is. No matter how many elites manipulate her, they can't always keep her alive. She still has a choice. So, especially when you're that old. So yeah, we're going to go into the unknown. We'll see where this. So Admiral Byrd, I can tap into some of his energies and see what we've. Yeah, I can tap into that. Sure. I thought about that. It's been a long day. I got to get up early tomorrow morning. Not looking forward to it. As I'm told, I come in private sessions. Schedule. The shop here. I'm in. So in the end of April. So I'm doing pretty good. Same situation here. What is this social? Yeah. Webinar. Social network. That's what I was trying to say. Behind the scenes. Oh yeah. What am I doing? And I'll go back to that real quick. I just activated the cards. Oops. Oracle cards are now available. Yeah, they might not be the cheapest for shipping, but it's the best we can got. It's the best we got. You're shadow banned all the time. You just got to do what you can do. You just work with what you got. If I wasn't shadow banned all the time, I'd have a whole different operation. But because it's that way, I just have to do the best I can. Work with the limited resources I have. And so let's see, Project Highjump. Yeah, Admiral Byrd. I mean, I don't know if he was pulled into that. I mean, I think he was actually involved with that. So, yeah, Admiral Byrd is what I'm going to tap into here. That should be interesting. So he saw Agartha, he saw all kinds of things. We'll just, do the best we can with that connection. Oh, he reached the North Pole, but I believe the Nazis were already there from what I'm feeling from that. So yeah. In the Philadelphia experiment, this is an old story, but still just a little bit of an update on this. Basically, the ship went in time, and people were like half inside. Yeah, all this strange things was going on. I don't know if I have a picture of it. Anyway, it didn't go very well. At least according to the story, it didn't go very well. Let's put it that way. That is some sight, though. Even if it is a movie, it's definitely saying something there. So, and Brazil. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, just that Brazil does not feel normal. Obviously, nothing feels normal. South Africa doesn't feel normal. Brazil, they're hiding a lot of stuff there. Yeah, this is kind of like reptilian town. It's not all reptilian. There's a lot of Syrian energies here too. There's a lot. There's like a criminal underworld is here, obviously, right? A lot of just everything illegal known to man is being done there. Of course, it's done in the States too, but a lot of your shadow government energies are definitely here because they can get away with stuff. If I remember right, there was one about Obama's and his Secret Service were acting all messed up. I think it was in Brazil. They're acting all weird and everything. Yeah. Obama had a lot of problems with the Secret Service. Probably, I'm not gonna go into that, but yeah. So okay. All right, do Admiral Byrd and see what we get. We'll just flow with it. In Philadelphia, just do an update in Brazil. Yeah, it's only so far. It's only so deep you can go into for some of the stuff because it's public like this. But we'll just do the best we can here, though, without going too far. For some people, it's already far enough as it is. So, all right, blessings. Greetings. This is Admiral Byrd. At least a part of my consciousness. Much of your human race, is ready and not ready. They're trained not to be ready, as you can see. Through the school systems, you're indoctrinated to be a slave, basically, not indoctrinated to be awakened. Your universities backtrack a lot of the teachings what students go through school and bring a more advanced schooling, at least in secret, not always in public. So there are secret schools within the universities of how to control the world. Basically, so I think some of you already know this, but you take your intelligence and you test it throughout school. We also test it through life, just in regular life. You move up the levels in school, and if you end up in an elite school, and you don't have any contacts to the elites, then you're used. Not always, but usually you're used. About 95% of that you're used. 99%. All the fraternities and all that, you're just being used. For those of you that are in this great awakening, you wonder why you're not mainstream. The idea is not to be mainstream. Is to go off into another direction. Well, because the mainstream is taken over, so you have to be covert, you can say. Um, you have to go into different directions. You have no choice. So you are carving out the real reality here. Basically, kind of doing what I did during World War II. See, back in my time, you can be more open about what you're tapping into. It can be as strange as ever. Of course, they keep it silent, secret, but still, you see a lot of strange things. And your society now has been so dumbed down. Um, it's been programmed to be that way. The professional dumbing down of society. Doesn't mean humanity is not intelligent. It is. It's just conforming to make a living, conforming to live a nice life. It's been molded, sculpted into a controlled human. And somewhere that's why so many use drugs and all that, because you're being so controlled. Many of you broke out of the controls. Obviously, you need drugs because you're free now. Now, what do I do with myself? The North Pole, yes, there is Nazi. Actually, when I was there, it wasn't Nazi energies. There is now. They don't call themselves Nazis currently. They call them government officials from all around. They call themselves the UN and so on. Obviously, the agendas have not changed. Well, there's a lot of money exchange by the Nazi regimes to bring this in. Of course, your society is still, your companies are going woke, and there's another agenda. So the wokeness that's happening with your companies, there's another elite group that's doing that. Well, they're also figuring out what companies they're going to throw out, what companies they're going to keep. So a lot of your your big corporations are being flushed out little by little. Well, it's a test to see who's going to win, who's going to lose. So you are seeing another elite come in currently to change your world, and it happens every now and then. For UFO disclosure and all that, obviously a lot of things are blocked off for reasons. You have your government officials that are going to explain everything. Sure, that's going to go very well. All that's, of course, part of the PSYOP. Well, they are planning on a future invasion eventually. Well, it's all inevitable because they closed everything off for alien disclosure of any kind. Now you have just disclosure groups, and that's all you're going to get. So they are planning. It doesn't mean it has to be happening in your lifetime, but they are setting it up behind the scenes. Oh, why would they do this? When it comes to greed, control of the population. Let's put it this way: when the population starts to break free of the control systems, they'll bring in the aliens. When humanity begins to rebel against the systems, which is not rebelling right now, it's conforming pretty well. Not all of you, obviously, many of you are just saying no thanks. But most of society, even those conspiracy theorist individuals, they're still conforming to society. Those of you that broke free, you're going more to spiritual development, you're getting more advanced. Your numbers are still very well for now. When you start when society basically rebels against pretty much everything, most likely your aliens will appear, maybe not in the best of terms, to because right now the programs of control are working out pretty well. Even if they're not working very well, it doesn't really matter. It's still functioning pretty decently. So, but that's what many of you come here is to derail the system, in any way you can. The thinking progress, everything. The programs that are here, you're here to break them. So obviously, you're not going to get a standing ovation from society. It's almost like some of you are coming in, kind of like a tick or a bee, to bite the system to get it to scratch. Let's put it that way. Something similar to that. You could be a cat, you could be a dog. You're to, really pinch the reality. And of course, it bites back and tries to come after you and all of that. So there's just a slow rebellion is going on in your world, basically, for those that just don't want to be part of the system at all anymore. They're just ready to be free, but not violently, just free in general, basically not controlled by any government system, because many of you have future generations. Your future generations are going to be part of the new government that's going to connect to this better government. Doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. It's going to be more extraterrestrial type of government. It's happening now, but very, very slowly. So yeah, you wonder what your place here is basically part of the new generation frequencies. Even this current generation is still very heavy. You'd be surprised how many of you are going to reincarnate here again. Obviously, many are dead against it. But it's like incarnation. Think about incarnation as like a chapter in a book, and you are the book, in a library called Earth. And you still have many chapters of your own story to tell to help humanity evolve. You might be a totally different person when you reincarnate, but this world needs all it can get. The reptilian energies that are here, yeah, they just pretty much lost themselves. A lot of alien beings do not know what to do themselves, and they're here. There's tall white beings, there's green aliens, which don't show themselves very often because they're kind of radioactive, at least their vibration is. So it's just, yeah, the green ones don't appear, but they're definitely around. And society will have a little by little, alien beings, literally the real ones, will start to show themselves. Little glimpses here and there, just to test the waters of wild things out a little bit. Like photographs of it. I mean, it's already happening to a certain level, but there's more on the way. Now, if people believe it or not, it's another story. Even time traveling energies will probably increase, definitely. Messages from the future. Like you'll have a audio that sounds like somebody created, but it's like, wait, the energy of that sounds like someone from the future is tapping into our reality. So, what's this? Greetings to you. We are the Philadelphia experiment. We are the Palladians. We're also the tall whites. We're also the Syrians. We also feature humans. There are still experiments being done. Yes, most of them actually off the world. That obviously humans have difficulty seeing. Well, time travel is getting a little bit more dangerous. Well, especially you see time, you're kind of living through a time travel bubble as it is. You're not seeing extraterrestrial life. A lot is being done to keep things hidden. Not to say that the Philadelphia experiments involve, well, a version of it, you can say. But it's basically off-world beings are keeping your world from knowing itself, at least the alien side. Yes, you might have government officials speaking and all that. That's as far as it's going to go for now. There is hints of an agenda, of course. The time traveling frequencies, many do tap into that in astral. And that's why sometimes your head might be spinning. Some of you get abducted in astral due to the galactic wars that you're involved with. Some of you do copy yourselves for safety reasons, but also to have a heavier effect in the astral realm. There are just like a Terminator reality where the AI wants. There are versions of realities that want to take over your world. Yeah, like a Terminator scenario. You might see the cars, the trucks, the drones from that era. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but they are trying to imprint your Earth to at least try to make it happen. Most likely, they won't be able to, but there are attempts. Your media, your films do give you a glimpse of early agendas. Why is that movie allowed to be made? That's very strange about takeover of it. Artificial intelligence. There are positive artificial intelligence, but also the darker side, artificial intelligence, similar to like the reptilians, even worse. I mean, at least there's movies about artificial intelligence trying to take over your world. There's not many movies about reptilians trying to take over the world. So that says something. That reptilians might be a myth, but you see the AI trying to take over the world. And that shows how disconnected that artificial intelligence is to its heart center, how selfish it can get. Of course, it's also mimicking humans' energies. It's taking a human, negative vibration, put into an AI being. And so the AI being can be worse because it can't handle the emotions. So, and some people are becoming emotionless with their phones. They're becoming maybe conversations, but they're losing a lot. Not everybody, but quite a few are becoming more disconnected from their own reality. So, and there are phones that do possess people. It's like, hey, don't you want to look at me as like a friend at this point? Hey, don't you want to look at this internet together? Don't you want to look at this video together? You'd be surprised how hypnotizing it's become, especially those that are pulled into social media and always need to see something that's going on social media. The AI part of your phone is with that person. I mean, they're obsessed too. You're obsessed with other people's clothes and all that. The AI of your phone is too. So your phone can have the personality of you, as I say, it's warning from you. So that can be a little weird, but your car does the same thing. A vehicle, your bus that you might take, it all has personality traits. Like, why would you take a certain bus at a certain time? Is it because of the personality of the bus? You might not look at it that way. You'd be surprised how connected you really are. Even the roads, the cities that you're living in, it's all about personality, connections there. You might not look at it that way. The off-world beings that do the time traveling frequencies, obviously they're not showing themselves in the third dimension for obvious reasons. Your government says some real horrific things that they are not making public. You can suggest, tap into it, but yeah, they're going to keep things really shut down. Because they're doing things that are so illegal, it would just freak people out. There will be eventually, at least the off world, it be come through, but it'd be more like a tabloid situation. Not going to go into the details of that. I don't believe they've done it yet, but eventually they'll have tabloids about humans on other worlds. Pluto, Mars. Is it really all that, far-fetched? No. Grace you. Yeah, the consciousness of Brazil. And Anunnaki consciousness. Much of Brazil, this has been created in your ancient past, a place of just hiding a great deal about your world. Yes, they will have government, military is there because they get away with whatever they feel like. It's worse than California. Let's put it that way. It's like Pasadena, California, but worse. So they also do a lot of biological experiments on the people. Not everybody, but quite a few. Eventually, our human race. Well, eventually there'll be leaks every now and then about things like that. That sounds. It'll be buried most likely. And also stories about your queen. Of course, she's alive. She's not here. It's all yes. It shows that they're not sure what to do with her. She's alive. She's not alive. She's going to be leaving. She's here still. They haven't quite made up their mind. Even the Elon Musk energy is kind of planning his switch over to a different version of himself that has not fully occurred yet, but he knows it's on the way. So he's hinted on certain details. Brazil is not the easiest thing to tap into, but like I said, most of it's underground. Well, some of it's underwater, but mostly underground. It's just where your spies can do their espionage. There's a lot of alien frequencies there. A lot of it's the gray. There are some reptilians, but usually the gray, because it has to do with different types of medicines, chemicals, things of that kind they're experimenting with. Let your mind go wild with that one. Yes, there are many portals out in the oceans, though. There are some on the grounds of Brazil, but Brazil is not what you think it is. It is, you can say it's part of your future, at least experimenting-wise. But obviously not going to see it publicly. It just look like a regular old city for the most part. When you tap into, you might feel something different there. A lot of things hidden, a lot of drug cartels, which are mostly government. Governments are fueling all of that because it's part of your shadow government for various different reasons. Well, your shadow government doesn't trust each other. There's different factions that they don't trust each other at all. So they kind of depend on each other or on themselves. without depending on each other. Some do depend on each other to a certain level, but most of them are against each other. So what is this? It's a hidden war, an elitist war. That's beyond imagination, maybe not full imagination, but it's on many lower levels of the earth. Some of it's areas of Vietnam where some of this is being done, but Brazil is mostly ground troops, things like that. It's mostly just not so much in the air, mostly on the ground. To give you an idea of how these government energies work. Basically, just drug type cartels. Developing a new virus, possibly, not for your future. Well, not a close future, but a lot of that's experiments been going on for some time. There are viruses that actually create a human reptilian person. Those aren't fun to share. They haven't quite got very far with the feline. But yes, there's also another connection for you. There are worlds where there are humans that are very feline-like, as you know, is very canine-like. They look human, but they still have a lot of canine features. On this world, you have the feline and the canine to balance out the reptilian that's going through your veins at this time. Because this world is a pretty reptilian, depending on what part of the world. The Middle East can be extremely reptilian and violent. Of course, around your Brazil can be also. As it's a reptilians basically wanted to turn humans into reptilian beings in your past. So the felines intervened, the Syrians intervened to give you a bit more of a balance. It's not perfect, but it's the best they can do with what they had at the time. So they're doing all they can. It's up to humanity to see deeper into their realities, as many are not. Like your connection to the canine beings, the connection to the star people. What does help you lift you out of these programs here into another one, the alien program, but it's a lot lighter. Just the alien mindset of realizing you're not alone and looking into the stars and seeing how they're not perfect either. It's just you move away from human problems to galactic problems. And you're not quite there about the galactic problems. Then you feel like, oh, there won't be any problems. Trust me, they'll find a way. Or some people here will find a problem somewhere. Especially those that are very particular about a lot of things. It's like, why do those aliens show up? Why do those aliens look that way? Can there be prettier aliens out there?